voice of Catfish Flipper here on LSL Radio. Welcome back to the swamp. With me in studios, we got Mad Dog Mikey. Mad Dog Mikey, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot, Flip. Glad to be here.
Oh, man, you know what? What a pleasure. Now, for anyone listening, I know we had to have a fun intro for that Catfish gang out there, but this is Commissioner Gerald Horton, a.k.a. Mad Dog Mikey himself. And, Commissioner, we had to have this show because, again, the action in the Louisiana Swamp League is like none other. Really, I mean, my goodness. There's a lot of action going on, but, again, like anything, anywhere, and any place else, you can't please everybody. So I thought today would be a good day where we could cover Mad Dog Mikey and all the action going on in the tag and 6th division there in the Swamp League. So that's why I had to bring you on as the Mad Dog himself, as the Mad Dog. Oh,
yo.
Yes,
Yeah, baby.
The
Mad Dog is here.
Oh, man. Now, let's say it like it is. Tag team action. You can go to any league in anywhere, any federation in the IWA and find tag team action. You can definitely find places to play within the IWA that very competitive in tag action. I think what's happened over the year that we've, this year flew.
This year did fly.
Oh man, and I can remember, just last year, us starting this league and where is it going to go? Is it going to succeed? Are we going to be able to get over 12 cards? And over 12 cards, we haven't been able to. I mean, until recently, we were consistently over 50. I mean, I know we had a little bit of a drop off, but I mean, the league is still just, booming with trash talk, booming with activity. And thanks to you guys, for keeping it alive for as long as you have, Commissioner.
Well, thank you a lot, Flip. Like I said, the other commissioners and myself have been busting our butts to keep the LSL going. And we have good wrestlers, great talents here. And my tip my hat off to them, because without them, we wouldn't have this awesome league right now.
Oh man, I'm there with you, Commissioner. I mean, now, again, the league has gone through its fair share of angles. I mean, we could sit here for hours talking, just one of the angles, and then get into the next one for another hour and hour. I mean, but again, the beauty of the LSL is the characters and the managers that have brought those characters, have brought them to life there. There's so much action throughout the LSL. I mean, the tag action now, which is where we want to focus. I mean, if we're going to start talking tag, and I think it's healthy that we start with mentioning some of these tag teams. And if you don't mind, Commissioner, I'm going to go ahead and read off the top 5 tag teams based on points for the, I believe this was the winter cycle of 2020.
Be my guest, Flip.
Here we go. So starting at number 5, and this is based on point totals, with a 509 was Kurt Crush and the Red Riot. Also tied for 5th, also with a 509, we had league favorites, Pigeon Toe, Ellie Mae, and Pipsqueak. Also with a 509, and it's the last team with 509, we had probably your, I know you've said good things about these people in the past, the Indomitable and Sugar Lips. I can't say much nice things about them because I've heard their ugly side, but I know you've been a big supporter of their action, and shout out to them.
Yep, my shout outs to AAA too. Very, very vocal wrestlers, but also can back it up in that ring.
Now, sitting at number 4 with a 510, no strangers to the tag team scene, Crazy Chad Red and BTY.
Oh yeah, 2 of Salvation's core members.
Whew.
Those two gentlemen those two gentlemen are no strangers to tag team wrestling. They're one of my favorites as well, and I look to see good things come from them.
Oh yeah, I mean BTY puts it down day in day out in the LSL. So I mean, if you're ever in need of a tag team or in need of help, BTY is definitely one to just call on, man. He'll come to the rescue. Now, speaking of people that uh, are probably going to need some help, Blade Runner Link and Night Hatcher
Oh yes,
they're sitting at number 3 with a
very
511 commissioner. Wow, that's not bad.
no, not bad at all for the IOD. They're another tag team that is in no was it no effect a weak tag team. These boys have been strong since day one, and they have their wins, they have their losses, but once you think they're gone, they bounce right back.
Yeah, and a strong tag team. I mean, 511 strong, but believe it or not, one above them, sitting at number 2, is the tag team duo of the two Blade Runners. Blade Runner Link and Sloth managed to, bring home the TV tag titles with a 512.
I remember when they brought those titles home. That was quite quite the victory for them. That got them really noticed. And any tag team, it doesn't matter if it's the Extreme TV tag belts or any tag belt in the LSL. If you're the champions, I pity these boys coming after you.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely stronger together than apart. Now,
Mm-hmm.
our number one tag team for the winter cycle was Chicken Legs Peg and Bullfrog Bob.
Oh yeah, 10K.
Yep.
Those two, those two never fail to disappoint me in the tag team division. Their singles wrestling, not too bad, but if you get them as a tag team, they just show magic in that ring. I mean, they can do things you can't even imagine, and I'm always impressed by them. So they earn that number one ranking.
I just wish this Chicken Legs character would just come to wrestle. I'm tired of the shaking and the jiggling and the wiggling and the sliding
Oh
and
yeah,
bending over. It gets old. It gets old after a while, Commissioner. It really
and
does.
and I've talked to her personally. I have fined her. I have threatened suspension. But to quote my great granddaddy, they used to quote to my granddaddy and then to my daddy, it goes in one ear and out the other.
Yeah, I mean, but when you're sitting that close, it just, whew, I feel bad for the people that paid for front row action because, yeah, that chicken legs can, definitely get into personal space very quickly.
Oh yeah, she does. She tried to get in my personal space, and I'm like, honey, I'm a married man. Get out.
Back off there, Peg. Go shake somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, that's I mean that's just the start. I mean that's our top 5 for our tag team division, and believe it or not, we had 24 active tag teams this past cycle.
That was quite impressive there, Flip.
That
I was really impressed. I was watching every match. I was at ringside and I was taking notes. I mean, the wrestlers weren't intimidated at all that I was down there and I was just sitting there. I wasn't saying anything. I was just observing at the
yeah,
announce table.
look at how scary this is, Commissioner. The number 22nd on this list, guess who?
Who is it, Flip?
Big Mama and Big Papa. Is
Mm-hmm.
that telling you something as to how hot this action is here in this league? When any given cycle, someone like Big Mama and Big Papa can fall that far down the list, that is phenomenal,
Yeah.
phenomenal action here in the LSL. I'm telling you.
Both Big Mama and Big Papa Red are excellent wrestlers and they're definitely damn good tag team wrestlers, but sometimes you've got to kind of take the equation. I mean, it's like how you bake a cake. Your cake, you're either going to bake it good or you're going to bake it bad. Okay. The Reds are like a cake. It's good. Okay. Another time it's good, but then another time it's going to be bad. or you're just going to burn the cake completely. And that's
Yeah,
what happens with
this
that.
was this was definitely a burned cake cycle for them. Let me tell you, there,
It
Commissioner.
was. It was.
Woo-wee.
It was a very, very burnt cycle. They were frustrated, but I just gave them words of assurance. Hey, take every match as you go. You guys are still two of the best wrestlers here as well. It wasn't your day, so keep your heads up.
Yeah, I agree. Now let's get a little into this 6-man action because again, you are the tag commissioner, our tag team 6-man top 5. We actually had a tie for 4th, which took, a couple of slots. So I'm going to start there. Tied with a 514, we had Prince Tyr, King Achilles, and Awesome Mina Colossus. We also had, also with a 514, the annoying Pipsqueak, Pigeon Toe Ellie Mae, and Turnbuckle Chewing Rocco Steele. And last group with a 514, Hardcore Janie Lane, uh, Leprechaun, and the Indomitable one. Is that a weird bunch there? But they managed to pull off a 514, so
They did. Yeah,
nice.
that was a tag team that I put together. I want to see how well different factions can work together, being wrestlers, being on part of a team. You're good singles wrestlers, but I took a gamble on these three because they were doing excellent one cycle and they earned the title shot and then they became the champions and they've been an unstoppable force. Every
Now,
tag
now,
team that's
now, now
challenged,
they became what champion, Commissioner?
the 6-pack challenge champions.
Oh, nice. This is the in league commissioner title for the 6-man.
Yes, they are.
Nice. So this random group of individuals that you just decided to give a shot to manage to bring home the title.
Yep, and they've been defending champions and done pretty damn good so far.
Now, now
Nobody
I
close.
now, now I exaggerated that on purpose, Commissioner, because I know who they beat this last cycle. These sons of these punks. And this is the funny part is I actually, I'm actually a big fan of flowing for 6-man. So that I like flowing for 6-man. So for these guys to knock and I couldn't even beat this random group of people, just oh
Oh,
man, I had the shame, man. I'm just gonna walk around with a bag on my head now, with a bag on. Oh man.
well, well, I understand the frustration. I understand it because the tag team, the ATOF, I believe, of Willowick Nightmare, Death Inferno, and Red Run Vendetta are very good veterans. I love having them here in the LSL. They bring that excitement and they bring everything. They're accomplished veterans. And I got to say, when they're a 6-man, they're one of the best 6-mans I've ever seen
Well,
in
they
a tag
couldn't
team.
beat your random trio, let me tell you. That ran
Well,
that random trio from hell.
and I got to say this too, and it's nothing against those boys there, but I don't think they knew how to study against a random tag team because the ATF have fought people in the past, and I'm going to bring a couple up. They fought the Bunnies in the past because they knew who the Bunnies were, and they fought the Catfishes. They knew who the Catfishes were because they've been in the ring with them. But when you take 3 different random people and put them together, how can you train for somebody like that? The truth is, you can't.
No, no prepping for that much for that much of a variable there. You're right on that one. So shout out to these guys for putting together a 514. Really, I mean, just goes to show.
Oh yeah.
Um, Now, as we inch into the top 3, number 3 sitting on this list is the Indomitable One, along with his own group, Time Bomb and Sugar Lips. So even when they're flowing together, they only manage to get 1 point higher than your random group than your random.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
man! But shout out to AAA for bringing home a
Shout out to
515.
them.
Now tied for 1 and 2 was Chicken Legs Peg, Dogman Montana, and Bullfrog Bob, and both of them had a 517. Blade Runners and the Night Hatcher. So shout out to them. And
A much shout out to them.
now let's get a little deeper into this tag scene here in the Louisiana Swamp League, Commissioner, because uh, we mentioned these top five, and obviously this is only a glimpse into the tag scene because, quite honestly, I mean, we have like we've mentioned before. I mean, we have the Duchesnes there. The General and his group can put it down. We've mentioned Prince Tier and King Achilles, and any combination of them. And also Mina Colossus also brings it week in week out. Obviously, you mentioned your bunnies who at any given time can just just shine in that tag scene. You had the Stambolis, the catfishes that you mentioned. You throw them into the fire with the IODs, the 10Ks, the Triple A's, my old guys, and my goodness, you have yourself this phenomenal cast of people, and that's not even including. I mean, I'm even leaving out people like Legion, people like 2XW when they're there, like uh, uh, the hundreds of Reds, and uh, you got Leprechaun that just came to the scene. I mean, the cast is just growing and growing, Commissioner. I mean,
Yes, it's just the tag team division has been growing and growing, and I'm loving it because that way our fans out there get to see a different tag team for every match, not just the same people over and over again.
yes. Now that brings me to these two titles because we do have two titles here. We have the U.S. Legacy Champion, which is I'm assuming is like the diamond drop of the tag, right? Is the premier?
Yes, it is. The United States Legacy Tag Team titles are the premier tag team titles. They took the place of the X Division titles.
And then we have the Extreme TV titles, right?
Yes, we do. And those belts are decided in extreme matches. Just to let you know.
Nice, nice. Now, Commissioner, I mean, let's put it all out on the table. Here in the LSL, we've opened up other titles, or other titles have been opened for contention, throughout the year. Obviously, the action is booming here, so whether managers maybe just overlooked it, or for crying out, I mean, there's been managers that literally whine and cry about title shots, and even though you guys have said it on the air, have put it on the bulletin, either they're blind and deaf, or just don't care, but they never challenge for the titles that are open.
No, they never challenged for any of the open titles, Flip. And the commissioners and I, especially Commissioner Lucky Stars, and I decided, for example, like the G-Force title, that's an open contract title. That title can be signed anytime, anywhere, and we have gotten challenges for it, which is good. And for the tag team division, yes, I decide the matches. I make number one contendership matches, and still I try to be fair and open and honest, and I still get phone calls to my office about the crying and the bitching going on.
but
And
let's be honest, Commissioner. I mean, you've opened up other titles in the league in the past. Why should we open up the title again? I think it's healthy that you're keeping the action brewing, because as a commissioner, that's your job. I think if enough people want to challenge for this belt, let it be known. Like, let's start with that. Let it be known that you want to challenge for these belts. Let us know that you're interested, because ultimately it comes down to that. If you're not interested in getting a title shot, well, guess what? It's the commissioner's job to keep the action brewing. So I think I think you've taken a healthy route by developing this contender match style, and having these contender matches to kind of move a challenger forward, into that next pay per view. Because if not, the division dies and it's over. But
yeah, and I agree with you, Flip. I'm an honest guy. I'm open to a lot of things, if people want the tag team titles to be open, the Extreme TV tag team titles and the U.S. Legacy tag team titles, you need to let me know. I mean, these titles, I'm willing to give people shots. People have done excellent work in the LSL and the tag team division. The system I had, like you've mentioned before, of how I make contenders matches, I'm trying to be fair and open. But, you know, when I get phone calls to my office about wrestlers crying and whining and saying I don't give them a shot at the tag team, okay, then talk to me. Don't just cuss me out on the phone and hang up the phone. Talk to me on the phone, clear your head, and we'll decide it. If you want an open challenge, I'll be willing to do that, but I can't do that unless you tell me what you want. I'm not a mind reader. And
I mean, just based on body of work now, and I hate to put you on the spot like this, Commissioner, because obviously, no one wants to be put on the spot. But if you don't feel comfortable going through it, just let me know. But if you had to, and if you want to, who would your top 5 tag teams be? I mean, obviously we heard the point wise last cycle's point wise top 5, but who would you put up there? Obviously we mentioned Prince Tyre and King Achilles. I know they're always up there.
mm-hmm.
Would they even fall into your top 5 in terms of their body of work here? Do you have a top 5?
Well, at the moment, if I had to pick a top, I don't have one at the moment, but if I had to pick a top 5, I would have to be honest about it, who I put in there. And like I said, I've been at ringside taking notes on matches of who I've seen shine and who I've seen kind of fall. And Prince Tyre, King Achilles, yes, I do consider them, but in my top 5, they're not going to be in my top 5 because I haven't seen too much out of them.
Oh, okay. Obviously, the great and legendary Pipsqueak and his phenomenal work. No,
well,
you like that? You like that advertisement for that?
If it's trying to score brownie points with the tag team commissioner, you're doing a semi-bad job there.
Oh man, horrible.
But but I will be honest right now. If I had to put them in my top 5, I would put them at number 5.
And that would be generous.
I mean, they've proved they are a good tag team. They have proved themselves and they're working up, but I don't hear what they want anymore. I mean, they've been signing tag team matches, but they haven't told me. I mean, I'm impressed with their in-ring work, but if they came up to me and say, will you consider us for a title shot? I might just do that, but every time I go to talk to them, they're just like going back to the ring, ignoring me. So what am I supposed to do?
I think Big Mama and Big Papa put them in their place, so they've kind of humbled them for a little bit. I think they got humbled. That beating to Big Mama and Big Papa really definitely humbled them.
Yeah, I mean that beating to them definitely did, and right now, if I had to pick Big Papa and Big Mama, I would have to actually put them at number 4.
Yeah, Big Mama and Big Papa are definitely one to. Even though, like you said, even though they had their burned cake cycle this time, I definitely still consider them one of the premier tag teams. Yes, I would agree with you.
Mm-hmm. And also for the number 3 spot, Flip, if I had to pick anybody that's been doing really good, I would have to say AAA members. I'd have to say Sugar Lips, and I'd have to say Sugar Lips Roxy is one of them, and I've also have to say the other member too, Time Bomb.
Yeah, they've been on. But now let's take a step back now. Considering the body of work from all last year, you would put AAA up there ahead of someone like Mobley?
I would actually have to say, the Mobleys I was really impressed with. I haven't got to them yet. But
I mean, like AAA is definitely a contender. I mean, but that's pretty high. I mean, that for you to mention them in the top 5, that's saying a lot, brother. I mean, because you have the Duchesnes here. You put them ahead of the Duchesnes. You put them ahead of the Stambolis? There's some great tag teams. And again, I hated to put you on the spotlight because there are so
Well,
many here that
well,
it's
since you did put me on the spot, if I'll read off the last two, if you don't mind.
yeah. Let's see. Now I'm curious.
Okay, I have to say right now, the number twos that I'd have to pick, and I'll probably get wrapped in the mouth about this, would be the Catfishes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They're number two. And for the number one, well, it says it all, and you mentioned it. The Duchesnes are the number one tag team.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
my yeah.
they're a tough SOB. Yeah.
Yeah, you just got your top five of who I picked are right there.
The general's gonna be mad because the general Chuck is he's beaten the Duchesnes back and forth all last year, so he's gonna be upset, brother. He really is.
If he
But
wants, he can take it up with me, and if he wants a chance to prove himself with a tag partner, be my guest. He's got to understand. I have watched his work. I've only seen him and his partner wrestle once or twice, and the thing I do is when I sit at ringside and evaluate, I see who's in the ring the most, who does the work. And if I only see you once and twice, that's like, geez, that's like having a friggin' Jehovah Witness coming to my door. Once I shut that door, I don't want to see you again.
ooh, General, you heard it, brother.
You know,
Come and see me. Come and see me. Ooh.
talk to me. If you want opportunities, let me know. I can't answer questions that I don't get asked. I mean, if he wants to meet me in my office and talk to me and say, well, why wasn't I ranked here? I'll be honest with him. He thinks that it's bad. I said, okay, that's your opinion, but I still think you and your partner are one of the best tag teams out there. You just need to show a lot more. I'll tell him I've only seen you wrestle once or twice, and that doesn't show me anything. You got to be continuing tag teams, and if you beat somebody like like you mentioned, the Duchesnes, if you continue to feud with them and beat them more times, like wow, okay, I'm impressed. Or you go against AAA and beat them. Okay, I'd love to see a Duchesnes versus AAA. If he'd want that match, I'd say okay, I'll sign it.
Oh yeah, I mean you got up and coming tag teams like Jimmy and Johnny Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
You have you have tag teams uh like these new luchadores. You have them that have recently come onto the tag scene. Uh, so shout out to them, and they're currently the Extreme Tag Team Champions, or no?
Yes, they are. They are the Extreme TV Tag Team Champions.
Now let me go ahead and slaughter their names since we mentioned them: El Monje Cavernario and El Hijo de Mil Demonios, the Luchadores.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we keep them around.
Oh yeah, they're very good, talented wrestlers. I've been impressed ever since I've seen them come to the LSL, and I've had many conversations with them. They didn't ask me for much. They wanted to earn their way, and they did. And I was very proud when they won the Extreme TV Tag Team titles.
Yeah, man, and shout out and again shout out to every manager pushing and striving for tag team action. Shout out to Terry Black. Looks like she's gunning for some tag team action. She's definitely looking for that perfect partner. So
Mm-hmm. And also, like I said, her and War Goddess weren't that much far down. Like I said, this was the top five I picked, and they were probably right down. I had to pick around number 9.
yeah, I mean you definitely. I mean you got a good bunch. I mean you got this cycle's tag team champions. You got Chicken Leg and Bullfrog. But Chicken Legs Montana works sometimes. You
Mm-hmm.
have uh yeah you have such a good bunch of people just shooting. I mean I know Hardcore Janie Lane and Paul the Butcher have been on fire as of late. So you know,
And I've been very impressed with them. I've watched them a couple of times, but after a while, I don't see them tagging hardly anymore, and I'm just disappointed because they were such a good tag team. And if they want a shot, then get in that ring and compete more.
Yeah,
I
oh
thought,
yeah. I mean, you gotta keep the action, flowing. You gotta, and I think that comes to like what we mentioned. I mean, you've opened up other titles in the LSL in the past. We didn't get enough feedback to like, to warrant opening up more titles until the ones that are currently open can get attention. Unless we get feedback from managers, and I think Jerry, I think it's healthy that you keep the fire and you look at what happened with the six-man action. You
mm-hmm.
made a random six-man just to have some fun, just to keep the action going, and these guys are retaining the titles. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, and I put these three together because it was a random thing. It was like a lethal lottery that Commissioner Lucky Stars and I have done in the past. And I wanted to see how well three members from three different factions could go, and look how well they're doing. Whether they get along or not, they get the job done. I mean, they've beaten some of the top six-man tag teams in the LSL, and people are scratching their heads. How do they do it?
Yeah,
These are
it's just
three, yeah, these are three people.
random
Yeah,
managers, randomly managed. Nice.
yeah, and they've got some gold. And I will mention the one tag team you mentioned about the 10K. There are they are our current United States Legacy Tag Team Champions is 10K Dogman Montana and 10K Bullfrog Bob.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We forgot to mention that. Yeah, yeah, you're right. We mentioned the other Extreme TV tagged, but yeah.
And there, like I said, there's a lot of good tag teams out there. But if you want to get noticed, get into that ring and wrestle more. I'm down at ringside at every event. I'm taking notes. I'm observing matches. And if you got any beefs, just come to my office and talk to me, because I had a wrestler come to me in the gym when I was lifting, and it kind of ticked me off. And I told him, get the hell out of my face or else I'm going to fire you.
It's like don't bug me on my time.
Yeah.
Bug me on my commissioner time.
I mean, I don't want people bugging me. I'm in there bench pressing or doing my arm workouts or whatever, because that's
Oh,
my
oh,
time. That's my time away from work.
okay,
I mean,
commissioner. Since I have you on the air, we got to mention one thing because I see something listed here in the six-man uh, uh, number that I think needs mention, commissioner, because number 16 out of the 17 submitted six-man action, it says Pipsqueak.
mm-hmm.
Why I dare ask, is Pipsqueak listed as a six-man, commissioner? Why?
Was this one of the current matches you were looking at, Flip?
This is just the top six-man points has Pipsqueak listed there. Why is
Hmm.
Pipsqueak listed as a six-man, commissioner? Why? Did he sign a six-man match?
He did. I think he might have signed a six-man match a while back. I'm not sure. I'd have to look in my file cabinet and find out. But I know one of the matches I put him in that people were wondering why it was a six-man. Actually, everyone knows the last cycle where he was in a number one contendership match for the Extreme TV tag titles. It was him and his wife, Queen Ellie Mae, against Big Mama Red and Big Papa Red. It was an Inferno match. And what happened was, in the match, it was a very, very good match. And Pipsqueak was about to be super kicked by Big Mama Red. He grabbed the Queen, threw her in front of him. She got kicked, fell into the
Why
ropes.
that little booger
Yeah,
piece of oh my goodness, he did
I
it.
was at ringside and I was shocked. She got thrown into the ropes. She got burned. The ref called the match. Big Mama Red, Big Papa Red won the number one contendership. And I was one of the people who left ringside to help tend to her with the medics. And,
So you
she
so
was
you
there.
mean he just threw her, didn't even go see if she's okay? He just
What happened was Big Mama Red and Big Papa Red, after their arms were raised, she was on the ground in flames. And I jumped from ringside. I grabbed the blanket, and medics and everybody else and officials grabbed. We managed to put the fire out, but when we looked up, Pipsqueak jumped out of the ring. He's walking out back. He looked at me and he was looking at everybody else, and he was putting his finger to his head saying, I outsmarted you. Well, after Ellie Mae was tended to, and she's fine, by the way, I went to the hospital and visited her, and she was doing better. When I went to the locker room, before I went to the hospital, I went to the locker room, and people were just incensed. The males, especially the women, were upset what he did. And I said, I know, and everybody's coming to me, asking me, what am I going to do about it? And I said, just give me time, let me think. So I had to calm myself down. So I went out to the lobby, had a Pepsi, was standing there, and I was taking a couple deep breaths because I was incensed at Pipsqueak for what he did. And so I went and I talked to the commissioners, and I said, we need to teach this guy a lesson, what he did, and they agreed. So I was going to sign him in a handicap match, and the 3 women that came up and talked to me on my way back to the locker room were Victoria Red, she was one of them, cheerleader Sassy Red, and Tessa Red. And they wanted a piece of him, so right there, that was it. So I signed the match, and it was called a proper match, I believe. And it was Pipsqueak against Victoria, Tessa, and cheerleader.
I think I did see that one. The Proper Manners.
Yes, the Proper Manners match, and I was at ringside at the next thing, and they literally kicked the living crap out of him, and we all were laughing. And he left the ring, and he gave me the finger, which I expected after he lost. Well,
better than getting kicked in the nuts or headbutted in the nuts.
Oh yeah, he knows me, because if I get out of my seat, he starts running.
Oh, nice! I love it.
But yeah, how he got ranked, I think.
I think that match would have definitely had him ranked and rightfully so. He deserved to get taught a lesson after those shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. And after those shenanigans, and it seems like when I talked to Ellie Mae later, she was upset after she's out of the hospital. And I said, he got taught a lesson. So she smiled at that and gave me a hug and said, thank you so much, Commissioner Mike Yegum. No problem.
Believe you me, his actions have definitely set off a new chain of events coming to the LSL. Things we mentioned before we hit that record button. But again, it should be some interesting times for the self-proclaimed king and queen of tag coming up.
Oh, yeah. And it should be some interesting times. I'm hearing things through the grapevine, too, through my sources. So, can't wait to see what's going to happen.
Oh, no. And again, Commissioner, shout out to the LSL. Like I said, the action keeps, definitely keeps things interesting. I can't wait to, I've been hoping to get the cruiserweight commissioner on to talk cruiserweight, but hopefully we can make that happen. I know we've had a show with Double R recently, so hopefully we can get him back on to talk some more women's division stuff. But again, the action here in the LSL, like none other. Every division, every piece to the puzzle, plays its role, plays its part. I hope the managers that are here are having fun with the action, as and again, it only works if you're participating. So if there is something that you want changed, speak your mind, talk, and if the commissioners are definitely flexible and willing to work with the people playing, and like I said, you got a great cast of wrestlers here.
We certainly do, and I speak for myself and the commissioners when we're all very proud. We are all very proud of everyone in the LSL, the hard work they put in. And we love to have them in the ring every day, every night, giving it their all. And we want you to understand, like, if there are any beasts or any problems, you're welcome to talk to me, the Mad Dog himself, Lucky Stars, Commissioner Rob, and Commissioner Double R. You can talk to him too. It's just, we've got to know what you want. We listen to the fans and what they want, but we want to listen to the wrestlers too.
And I think that's healthy. I mean, it really is healthy to get get the manager and the wrestlers' inputs to how the league is going to move forward. I think it stayed alive because of you guys have just kept pushing the action. Like, hey, we're trying this. Come here. This is okay. No, okay. Let's move. What about this? Let's try this. You guys. I mean, for crying out loud, Commissioner. I mean, you guys managed to sign agreements with the Steel Interfed to sign up for their that rotating belt that they have. On top of that, you've initiated new titles exclusively with the AWL. And I just think that's just healthy. I mean, it's healthy for the gameplay. It's healthy for moving the league forward. I hope I hope the what do you call it? I guess that venture also worked out for the AWO because they gained some new action. They gained some new talent there. So I think it worked vice versa. In keeping the action hot in both leagues.
Yes, when the commissioners of the AWL talked to myself and talked to the rest of the commissioners about doing like an interleague type of match, we were all for it because not only do the AWL fans get something and the wrestlers get something, the LSL fans and the LSL wrestlers get a lot. That's the equivalent of having like a Major League Baseball playing when you see the Chicago Cubs play the Chicago White Sox. That's an example I can show right there. Those are dream matches you have.
Oh yeah, I mean when I saw the schedule for the tag division titles that were going to travel, I was like, bro, this is definitely gonna, like I said, and people will look back and they'll see like, okay, you know, wow, these guys are, they're really taking it to that next level. And shout out to you guys because you guys actually worked with shout out to Commissioner Will Wisdom, worked with him and made it possible for managers to have this little extra tidbit. You didn't have to. You don't have to do anything in this game for anybody, but you guys did it because you wanted to see it as a part of the game, as a part of the no one told you guys, hey, go, you need interfed, tag titles. No, like that's the beauty of it. You guys did it, and you guys brought it in. Now it's just playing out, brother, and that's the beauty of
yeah.
it, man. Yeah.
And I'm loving that. Will Wisdom, I have a lot of respect for it. I consider him a friend as well. Him and I and the commissioners, when we got together and decided to do this, it has produced a lot of great things with this interpromotional because you can even do feuds like AWL wrestlers against LSL wrestlers, or you can just do so much with that. And you have so many titles, like on their side, an LSL wrestler could become Universal Champion, or an AW wrestler could become the LSL Cruiserweight Champion. We like things like that. We like to get all of our wrestlers noticed from AWL to LSL. And I got to shout out a big thank you to Will Wisdom for that. I tip my hat off to you.
Yeah, definitely kudos. Like I said, just working that interpromotional stuff is great for it's great for activity. It's great to it's great for the managers that are here and yeah, no, I mean I definitely two thumbs up for allowing that into the LSL and bringing that to this to this game, brother, for us, because that, like I said, not something you have to do. So
no, it's not.
Any little bit helps.
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned, any little bit does help, Flip, especially, where we do help each other out, like Will helping us out or us helping Will out. I mean, nobody forced us to do it. We just one day got together and said, let's just do this. Let's do something different nobody has ever done before. And that's what I love about the AWL and the LSL. I mean, I have some of the best feuds with LSL versus AWL wrestlers because we all have our wrestlers. We have some in LSL and we have some in AWL. And to see them go against each other or dream matches against opponents they've always wanted to face, why not? That gives the wrestlers, the managers, and the fans something to look forward to.
Oh yeah. I mean, just seeing, for instance, somebody like a Captain Misery face off against somebody like, a BTY.
Yeah, that
I mean,
great match.
those dream matches there, just can now be played out, and maybe down the line, because yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, you could see a lot of different matches like that. That's an example one. Or you could see Susan Black, who's the AWL Cruiserweight Champion, against somebody like Legion, which would be a good match. If he wins the LSL title, could you imagine those two facing each other for their belts? That's a dream match there.
I'm sorry, but I've said it once. I've said it again. I'm scared to see the day that Legion loses full control. I mean, right now, I still see him as somebody uh, still relatively grounded, but when he loses it and he just, oh man, that's not a day I
Yeah.
want to be. That's not a day I want to be nearby, brother. Because
Well, he was in my office one day trying to play mind games with me, and I told him, "Don't. I've been through this." And he kicked his chair back like he was gonna get up and hit me. I got up out of my chair, went across pushed my desk out of the way, and then him and I were staring at each other. And all of a sudden, he starts laughing, saying, "I'm just kidding around." I stood there looking at him like, didn't say a word, but just kind of gave him a dirtiest look. And I pointed at the door, meaning for him to get out, and he just had a sarcastic tone.
all I can tell you is this, Commissioner. I have it on good authority that the Age of the Fallen is. How can I say this? I don't want to say they're officially here, but I think I don't want to ruin it because again, this is definitely something that's coming. So I hope the manager doesn't get mad at me because I'm spoiling some because I'm spilling some beans. But yeah, I have it on good authority to say that the Age of the Fallen is is going to be pretty well recognized next cycle.
And that's what I want to see. I admire those guys. They're good veterans. They're good wrestlers. Sometimes they've crossed the line, and there are wrestlers that do cross the line. But I tell them,
Some
if you take,
some sometimes
well,
sometimes they cross the line. My goodness, Commissioner, you're nice. Those guys are
well,
pieces of shit. I mean,
well,
I
going to somebody's nightclub a couple cycles back, this is when Julia Rain was still around. Where what was it? Terry Black's out front having a smoke and all that, and here comes Red Rum Vendetta drunk off his ass, goes up to her and starts to try to fondle her, and she ends up kicking him in the groin and then smacking the crap out of him.
look. The word we use is belligerent. He was
Yeah,
yeah, he was done. I mean, you could
yeah,
have lit him. You could have lit him on fire for crying out loud.
and and luckily what happened was there were bouncers there, and they handled the situation. They escorted him off and made sure he left the property. Then War Goddess comes out to have a smoke with her, asking what's going on. She goes, "Oh, nothing but a drunk." You know, and I'm
Just
thinking,
just a wino, just a wino.
yeah, I mean, and I found out about it, and I talked to Red Rum Vendetta next day in my office, and he had a hangover, so I was being very loud.
On purpose,
Yeah, and I
yeah,
and I fined him $10,000 for what he did.
rightfully so. I mean, you're outside. You still got to conduct yourself, because anytime you have contracts and agreements with certain leagues, you gotta remember you're on contract and
Yeah,
you can't go acting a fool.
yeah, and when he went up to Terry and and grabbed her, I mean, she had every right to defend herself. I mean, that's somebody's soon to be spouse you just went up and grabbed, whether you liked Terry or War Goddess or not. And they're at a club, and she's at a club having a good time, and you show up drunk because she's out front taking a smoke break or whatever, and you come up and start fondling her. You rightfully deserve to get your ass kicked and then thrown off the property by the bouncers. I
Was
mean,
was he still waving his dollar around at her?
he wasn't waving a dollar. He waved the middle finger to her though first, and then grabbed her.
Oh, nicely done. Well done there, Redrum. You
And
douchebag. You douchebag. You douchebag.
oh, and I did. I pulled everybody else that same day into my office. I pulled Legion in there, Dean the Darkness in there. I pulled Pit Squeak, Ellie Mae, and I pulled Willowick, Nightmare, and Death Inferno in there, and I gave them a stern warning. You ever pull anything like this outside, you will be done in the LSL. And I said, and I have the commissioner's backing on this too. I know you have your issues with the bunnies, okay? And they have their issues with you. But I don't see War Goddess or Terry Black showing up to your trailers and throwing tomatoes and eggs at it or vandalizing it. They leave you alone. But when you go to a club and you go up and you physically harass one of them, that ain't going to be tolerated. And I said, I will fire you on the spot. And they all understood it. And I said, am I clear? Yeah. Okay. And I said, now get out of my office.
Now, if you know any of those that you just mentioned, you know half of them sons of guns are probably holding their bunny ears behind their behind their backs.
Oh yeah, they are.
Oh.
I mean, granted, in wrestling you have attitudes, you have feuds, but I also talked to War Goddess and I talked to Terry Black when they came to my office. I mean, Terry was just a little bit upset, still seething, and War Goddess was too, seeing her fiance being harassed. And I said, okay, I said, I handled the situation. And I know you two won't go in retaliation and do what they did, but I also put a warning out to them. I don't want to hear you guys doing that or finding out, or you'll be done too. This goes for every wrestler in the LSL, you know, and they're professionals. And they said, no, we wouldn't do that. And I said, but I have fined Red Rum Vendetta $10,000, and he pretty much got a reprimand from me too. And I told him, one more time, you're done. And I said, I won't.
Now the good authority that told me about the Age of the Fallen also told me, I guess, that all 15 members of the Age of the Fallen are going to branch off and become their own subdivision.
Okay.
Are they still going to be allowed to tag up, or?
If they're their own subdivision, I don't object to that one bit.
Yeah, because I think they want to just become like their own sub league within a league, and just like, no, I'm messing with you, Commissioner. Commissioner, relax. You're like, what in the world? What in the world is going on here?
They were wanting to do that. That's fine, but I love a good joke.
Oh no, that would be pushing way too many buttons. You didn't tell me this Legion character has this much influence? No way. Legion, we love you. Legion, we love you.
You love Legion. I appreciate you being an LSL. But yeah, there was another match that I'm signing Pipsqueak to though.
No, hasn't he been suffering? Dude, he went through a 10-foot scaffold match. Now he has to. He went 3-on-1. What else are we putting this little demon child through?
Let's see. Well, there's this one match I want to sign where he's going to be in a gauntlet match. He's going to. Yep, he's going to face the Reds. He's going to face the Bunnies. He's going to face the Catfishes. He's going to face 10K.
Oh man, he's in for it now. He's in for it now.
Hey, Flip, I'm just kidding around. I'd never put that little shit through that. Got ya.
You're like, he's really gonna get it all. He's really gonna get it. Oh man, poor this week. He has been through hell, but yeah, no, that would be hell and beyond.
Well, he's been punished already for what he did, and he's learned his lesson. He even came to my office and brought me a gift.
Saying be careful with that. From what I know, he's been known to be too much of a prank.
Actually, he brought me a card saying I'm sorry.
There you go. That's you can definitely fly with that one.
And I said, just do me a favor, treat these women like you treat your own mother, okay? And he said, okay, sorry, Commissioner Mikey. And I go, okay, now shuffle off. And he
Oh,
gave me thumbs up, and I'm like, thumbs up. I said, what a nice little young man.
what a nice little youngster.
But yeah,
Definitely.
he brought me a card, and it was a Spider-Man card saying, I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah,
And I
that'll
said,
work.
yeah. So, like I said, that's one thing. Pipsqueak took his punishment. He was cool about it. But like I said, that one where Red Rum a while back, what he did to Terry Black and everything, going up, giving her the finger when he was drunk, and then grabbing her and fondling her, and she defended herself and everything. And I said, you have that option. Do you want to press police charges against him? I mean, you got witnesses and everything, and the bouncers were a witness. She goes, no, no, no. She goes, I don't want to do that. I'll take care of it in the ring, and she did.
Oh yeah, they came back with a vengeance this cycle.
Oh yeah, and it's just, I could see, Red Rum. Yeah, he does have his issues. They all have their issues, but to show up drunk and belligerent to somebody's club and harassing another wrestler isn't going to be tolerated. I don't care if you have a beef with them or not. I mean, like I said, war. I don't think you want to go stirring up War Goddess or Terry Black. I know them very well, and you're opening Pandora's box by messing with those women.
Oh man, well I'm curious to see how the action keeps brewing here, Commissioner. I think, like I said, I want to get some of these other commissioners on to talk their division, but you're always welcome on the show. We always love to hear from you. And like I said, yeah, I mean, look, in just an hour, we managed to just get all the action covered, and I know we could probably keep going about another hour or so. But let's keep them wanting more. Let's keep it at that right there. And again, uh, keep us posted on whether you want to challenge for some of these tag titles. Reach out to the commissioner and let them know. If not, we're going to keep the action going. Like I said, the action is definitely pretty exciting here in the LSL. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, I'm always open to hearing thoughts. You can speak on the LSL page and tell me what you want, and I will look into it because I'd love to hear from tag teams, managers, and the wrestlers how this division could be done better, and we'll go from there.
I love it, Commissioner. Well, again, guys, you've been listening to Commissioner Mad Dog Mikey, aka Gerald Horton, and myself, IWA Flip. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.
See you next time. All right.